Welcome to Journey to Esquire, the podcast. I'm Jocelyn Hardrick, founder and president of Diversity Access Pipeline, Inc., the company behind this podcast and other great programs, like Journey to Esquire Scholarship and Leadership Program, which provides $2,000 cash scholarships to third-year law students and internships to second-year law students, along with leadership training and mentors. And Journey to Esquire, the blog, which provides insightful articles to help navigate you through law school and beyond. Find out more on our website, www.journeytoesquire.com.
Everyone, my name is Kishnee, and I am a Journey to Esquire class of 2020 scholar. So a little bit about me. I'm from South Florida. I am Haitian American. This is my family in the middle. I went to UCF for undergrad and WMU Cooley Law School. I actually met Jocelyn as a 2L at Cooley. There was an event, and she shared this story before, but the way I met her was a little bit non-conventional. I was volunteering at the event, and her mom was staring at me from afar, and her mom came up to me and she asked me where I was from, and she thought that I looked a lot like Machina, which is Jocelyn's cousin, and she thought, we must have been related. Maybe we are, because we're both from Haiti. So Jocelyn came up and she apologized to me about her mom, staring at me the entire event. And we made a connection there. And like Adriana said earlier, I was trying to find the perfect word to describe Jocelyn, but she really is that group mom. She has been so influential in my life, and she's somebody that I look up to and I'll always look up to. I started out as a 2018-2019 intern. And I don't know if Jocelyn knows this, but she helped me overcome one of my fears, and that is public speaking. The epitome of an introvert. I feel like I write better than I speak. And I remember one time Jocelyn and I were just having a conversation, and she asked me, what was one thing that I felt like I needed to work on? And I said, public speaking. And she said, okay, great. I have an event next week or, like next month, and you're going to speak in front of all of the presidents of the voluntary bar associations in Tampa and a judge. And throwing me in the water like that helped me to overcome, the fear. And I have a picture down here. I applied some of the things that she taught me through that process. And this is one of my friends, Lakira. We competed in a moot court competition and won. So I appreciated everything about being an intern in the program. So then I moved on, to becoming a scholar. And, Jocelyn called me up and told me, you're going to have to go through the same process. So I had to apply, do the essay, go through the interviews, the whole nine. I didn't get, special priority just because I was an intern. And, I became a scholar, and it's just been another layer of just greatness and encouragement. I was paired with Jamila Little. She was my mentor for the program, and she was absolutely, or still is absolutely phenomenal. She's met with me multiple times, has given me so many tips. So I also appreciate her in the program. So one of the modules that I appreciated was the lawyer wellness module. And from each module, what I did was I always took something away and tried to apply it. So I remember Sarah, one of the attorneys, presented at the module, and she quoted something, and she said, if you don't make time for your wellness, you'll be forced to make time for your illness. And it's something that I repeat constantly to myself. If I feel like something is bothering me, or, there's a better way to take care of myself, I always repeat that quote, and it just stuck with me. So aside from everything that we discussed, I felt like that was one of the things that really stuck out. The next module that I took something from was the diversity and inclusion module with Samaya and Sarah. And one of the things, in the profession, we always hear, that the legal profession has to be diverse, and we hear the word diversity and inclusion. But what I was introduced to was equity. I've heard the word, but I guess it was the first time that I've ever had a discussion about the word equity. And Samaya asked the question, and, the whole group, we kind of discussed it. But again, the word equity stuck with me. And basically, Samaya described it as being basically a tool that you need. Not only do you need to be diverse, but you need equity in order to meet those standards or to be equal on a equal playing field as everyone else. So as an attorney, I know when I become a licensed attorney, I'll have to ask for certain things, for certain tools and, training to become, that partner at the, firm, or to move up to the next level. So that was one of the things that I took away from the module. And the next seminar that I really appreciated was the legal writing seminar. And one of the things that stuck out to me in the seminar was Kristen Norris, or it might have been Jocelyn, who said, better legal writing starts with better time management. And I never looked at it that way, but sometimes, right now I'm a law clerk at a civil litigation firm, and sometimes I'll get, a lot of different tasks thrown at me, and with no deadline. So now I've made it a habit. Whenever I get something, I am the one to ask for a deadline, and then I can manage my time effectively and know what to give priority to and work around that. So asking for deadlines is something that's important, and it's really been effective and it's worked for me. So I also took that away from it. So the last slide that I have, it's a picture of me and my grandmother. And now that the program is over, I was just trying to think of how I could conclude. And I decided to share this picture just to, kind of be transparent. Like I said before, I grew up as a Haitian American, a first generation Haitian American. My parents were born in Haiti, and they had me and my brother in their teens. So, currently my mom is still in her 40s and my dad is 51. And having really young parents, my grandmother stepped in. It's my paternal grandmother, and she helped them raise us. So, being in this time where everything is so uncertain, I just wanted to share like a brief story that my grandmother shared with me. She recently passed away in August, and I was helping my family with the funeral arrangements. And I remember when my dad sent me her death certificate, I saw that she had a 3rd grade education. And at that time, it dawned on me something that she told me not too long ago. She grew up really, really poor in Haiti in the mountains. And she had a cousin who was, a little bit more privileged than she was. And she had a boutique in Port-au-Prince. So she gave my grandma a job as one of the servants in the boutique. And, my grandma couldn't read or write. She couldn't do anything. But one of the tasks that she had was she had to clean up all the cornmeal that was on the floor. Cornmeal is like a staple food in Haiti. And every night there would be a lot of cornmeal spread out on the floor. So my grandma would, every night, she said she would take the cornmeal and she would like bag it. And instead of throwing it away, she washed it really good. And she made a drink, this staple drink in Haiti, we call it acassin. It's made with cornmeal. And from there, she made her own drink from the scraps, and she started selling it. So from there, over time, she raised enough money to open up her own boutique. And eventually, she got a visa, traveled to different countries, and, became a homeowner. And eventually she traveled to the States and ended up, eventually becoming a US citizen. So I share that because, in this time, I feel like I'm left with the little cornmeal scraps and I don't really know what to do. We're in the middle of a pandemic and job offers and the bar exam, everything is so uncertain. But just remembering that story and saying, there's still hope. And even if you're left with scraps, you can still move forward and persevere and just don't stop dreaming and, just push forward. So I'd like to thank everybody, Journey to Esquire, Jocelyn, all of the mentors, the panelists. This has really been a phenomenal experience, and I hope to continue. This is not the end of, my interaction with Journey to Esquire. So just thank you, everyone, and that's it.
Thanks for tuning in to another great episode of Journey to Esquire, the podcast. Support, share, subscribe. And for more, visit www.journeytoesquire.com.